Lisa Bennett here, Workforce Millionaire, and you are at the Loving Nonprofit Awareness Day. And now I have the opportunity to interview Ed Kaufman. Ed Kaufman, I know through the Corralitos Cultural Center. He is the president of the board of directors of the Corralitos Cultural Center. And the Corralitos Valley Research and Education Association, CVREA, also known as the Corralitos Cultural Center, is a private nonprofit entity. The center offers open mic, which I go to, acoustic open jam, which I've gone to, the farmers market, which I love to attend, mixed media ceramics classes, which I haven't done, meditation and art camp, which is new to me. The center does not receive any funding from the government, but is supported by donations and the efforts of volunteers. So Ed, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, having us, the Cultural Center.
Where are you coming from today? Your house, right?
Yes, yes.
Which is
our
where?
soaking house. Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. You're not in Corralitos, you are where?
I'm in North Monterey County. That's where I live.
North Monterey County. Okay.
Right. Pajaro. We're right on the border between Monterey County and Santa Cruz County.
Okay. All right.
Go over the bridge. Yeah, quite a while. Yeah.
Okay.
40 years.
Wow. And how did you become the director of the CCC?
I pulled the shortest straw. I became the president because things just needed to get done, pretty much. And the board was in transition. So I said, okay, let's just do this. And I have great support from other board members. So it doesn't all fall on me, but it's a board that's been around a long time and has a long history. So I got into it because of the open mic, and I saw the potential of this little gem in the woods that was really underutilized, except for farmers market, which was going on for years. So I can tell you how I got there. Pretty much, after I retired from teaching, I started playing more guitar and more music, and started to do the open mic circuit. And I found it very frustrating because people were not listening to the music. They were on their cell phones or at a bar, and the TVs are on, and it's a distraction. And I remember literally being at an open mic in Watsonville, and I was 3 inches away from the guy eating his steak.
Wow.
Watching him cut it up and eat. Yes. And I was, I said, this is bad news. So I started to look for, I had a friend who at the local golf course in Pajaro was a bartender. And I said, and I was playing music with him. And I said, this is a great spot. I mean, you have a full-blown bar. This place is empty at night. It's a vista view out the windows of the greens. And what a wonderful place this would be to have an open mic. So he suggested that I make a proposal to the owner. And he didn't understand the concept of open mic, and was like, nah, it's okay. No. And then a couple of weeks later, I was invited to this open mic by a buddy of mine who lives in Corralitos. And it was at the Cultural Center. And it was on a Sunday at 2 p.m. And I walked in, and there was nobody in the audience, and some folks up there playing music. And I said, okay, this is cool. So I went back, played open mic there for 2 or 3 times, but nobody's showing up. So I talking to the board folks, and I said, hey guys, can I make a proposal to you? And I wasn't a board member at the time. I said, how about locking in 13 Fridays for me? And this was in August of 2016. Lock in 13 Fridays for me. You can't book the venue, and let me try open mic as a pilot, and let's see how it goes. And then we'll reevaluate and go from there. And we've been there ever since. So and so open mic started, actually, the first one was, I think it was Labor Day weekend of 16. And so we've been there ever since. And then it expanded to, as you had mentioned, acoustic open jam. For a time there was the jazz jam happening.
Oh, I didn't know
nights.
that. Huh.
Yeah, there was a jazz jam. And I think it was an offspring of the Santa Cruz Jazz Society for folks who were in South County who didn't want to go up to Santa Cruz. And so they started playing pretty regularly on Thursdays. And then that was open mic. So that was that section of the performance hall. And so at the Cultural Center, you have the front building, which is the performance hall. That's what they called it. Then you have the library, which people didn't know about it. So when you're going down the street and you look, you don't know what's there.
No, not at all.
And
it's a driveway and the front of a small building is all you see.
That's correct. Yeah. And I mean, on a side note, we've had people, Justin Hamley, who you know, lives in the community, says, I drive by this all the time. I had no idea what was behind those doors. Not a clue. Many, many folks there who walked to the venue had no idea what was going on there. So, and then behind the library is a large multi-purpose room, which they used for, back several years ago, Tai Chi, the art classes, meditation. They rent it out for parties or quinceañeras or whatever. And then there's the farmers market. So all those are benefiting the community and other communities in the area. So we're alive and well for open mic, as you know, every Friday night at 7 o'clock.
And it's very fun. So tell me, what was the original purpose of that building that we do the open mic in? Because it has a stage. Was it ever a theater?
Was never a theater. It was originally a church.
Oh.
And then from there then went to a art studio or art gallery. Hence when you go in, you see those little side lights up that are facing on the pictures. Those were a lot of paintings were hanging. Oh. So so church to art gallery to and somebody came in there and did a performance hall. And I don't know the history behind how that got there, because as you know, there's a stage and a seat 65 people and a sound booth.
Yeah.
So if you're a musician and you're doing open mic, and many folks have raved about it, they walk in and go, my God, I can hear myself.
Yes.
I had a guy last week, like, I played open mics. I've never played with monitors in front of me, hearing my voice and the instrument come out of that. So that's very cool.
So just as a side note, I'm one of the performers there at the Corralitos Cultural Center on Friday nights. And I took up
frequently.
mic. Pardon?
I said frequently for your spoken word. Absolutely.
Yes. And I took up reciting poetry, I think maybe 4 years ago. And I have been in 4 venues, I think. And the Corralitos Cultural Center is unique in that it is very much like being a performer in front of a large audience, where if you think of like a rock band in the audience in front of them. So you're on a stage and the audience is down lower and they spread out in front of you and there are lights on you and there's a real sound system. And this is it's pretty nice. It is, I think, the only venue I have ever done poetry at where I can whisper into the mic and the whole audience can hear me. And part of that is, it's true, the audience is paying attention. The audience is actually there to listen and participate. They're not on computers. They're not clanking food utensils. They're not, it's not an eating establishment. It is actually people there to watch the performers. And so it's a stage. I mean, most of the places where I do open mics, you are at the same level as everybody else. This is I think it's the only one where I've been on a raised stage. and you really do feel like a performer. And so many of these wonderful people come, some are coming from different states. I mean, they're on vacation or traveling or whatever, and they come to the CCC and they see this really nice setup for performing in front of a small audience. And like you said, what, 65 seats? It's a small setup in front of you, but they are there to listen and to engage with who is on stage. And I've really enjoyed that, Ed. It's a really nice audience. They're always very forgiving. And so Ed's motto, every time someone gets up and they're nervous, and often there are people who are new at this, it's just open mic. Yes, he always says it's just open mic. It's on his t-shirt, it's on the sign, very forgiving, very open arms, and embrace whatever level you're at. Some people are kind of goofy in the presentation they give, or some of the comedians who come in, like their comedy like drops like a rock, but they are loved and embraced and clapped for no matter what happens up there. And so if you were ever to come to a venue where you wanted to try something out that you haven't done before, you can get on the list and you can get in there and do your thing, and they will, no matter what, embrace you for your bravery and your artistry and for contributing. I've really enjoyed that.
You have capsulized it. Absolutely. I've had folks there, and some folks that you know, I won't call by name, who say, been playing for years, and they're my demographic, they're in their 70s. And I said, well, why don't you get up? Oh, no, I can't do that. I just can't get up on stage and do that. I said, it's 18 inches off the ground. That's all it is, 18 inches. Put one foot up. I said, come early. You'll go up on stage and hear yourself on the microphone. I've invited many folks to do that. And now this gentleman plays every week. Ed plays every week. And so and I think what happens is, well, I know what happens is that people see the pictures on the wall of the performers.
Yes.
And they realize this is a safe environment.
Yes.
You're not going to be criticized. As you mentioned, you can get up there and fall flat on your face, or in the middle of a song, just say, oh, to hell with it. I can't do this.
Yes.
And everybody will clap for you, regardless.
Yes. I love that about the audience. It's so sweet. And I've done both poetry and music there at your venue, and you take the pictures, and I'm on posters on your walls. Like, I've never been on posters on someone's walls before, as far as I know. And it feels like, I'm an embraced member of that community, and it's so sweet. And that's it takes me 35 to 40 minutes to get there. It's a bit south of where I live, and I live on a mountain. So it's a haul for me to get to the location. And I really love being there. And it used to go till later, right? Didn't it used to go till like 10 o'clock at night? It's not doing that anymore, right?
Well, it's not doing that because post-COVID, the numbers have been down. Pre-COVID, we were averaging we got up to 18, 19 people, and we had to go down to 2 songs or 10 minutes for spoken word. But at least let me make a comment about spoken word. And for those of you who are watching this, that Lisa's outstanding. And she gets up on that stage and she entertains us, she engages us. She's awesome. And so just not music, but stand-up comedy. Other people do spoken word. And so if you want to get up there and do the cha-cha and dance,
that's true. They would embrace that, yeah.
Or play your trombone or whatever. We've had people get up there and play flutes made out of PVC plastic and horns.
I was there, yeah. A didgeridoo made out of a PVC pipe. Yeah, that was interesting.
So it is, and it goes to your next question when you talk about the love of your organization. And I've always told people, I said, I go in there myself, and I play a couple times a week with other folks, other musicians, and I'm in there early, and I can turn those lights on, and I sit on that stage, and I look at those 60 photos or whatever, however many there are, and I talk to you folks. And so appreciate that you folks have all come here to make it what it is. We can volunteers, myself, Joe, Scott, Anna, Susan, we can open the doors. But what makes the open mic are the performers and the people taking the chance and the risk, who want to share their joy of music, their joy of spoken word or comedy, and get up and share it with the rest of us. And that's for me where the love comes from. There's many times, because I live half an hour, I know you live a distance, and before I leave, I tell Eleanor, my partner, I don't feel like going, I'm tired. No, when I'm there and I open those doors up, it's changed. I give her a buzz at home and say, how's it going? It's awesome. You should have heard this person just now. She's never been here. She's 21 years old. She's fantastic. And so that's the joy that comes from open mic for me. And part of the reasons why I do open mic, and I've stayed with it, we're going to be going on our 6th year. Mine's a couple for COVID. That I never get tired. When I'm there, I love it.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're out of there by 9 o'clock because we're only getting 8, 9 signups at a time. But hopefully once this pandemic ends and turns into an endemic, that we're going to be able to go back to what we were. And people have asked me, were you going to keep it open? I'll keep it open for 2 performers. It doesn't matter. So, and I remember a time when, Stan, when we first started, it was a really bad storm. And some folks came from Palo Alto who were visiting people in Corralitos. And there were only 5 people in the audience. Stan and I played like 6 songs each.
Wow.
That's what we're there for. That's what we're there for. So the love from the community is the appreciation of opening the doors, but it really reflects on all the performers that are playing there, all the people.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been very accepting and embracing of everything that I've done up there on stage. And some of what I've done is pretty edgy. And I don't know like how the audience is going to take it. Thank you for the compliments. I love doing what I do, Ed. And I've only discovered it in the last few years since I've lived in this county, because I got brave enough. I joined Toastmasters. And after my 3rd speech in Toastmasters, I decided that's it. I can say anything on any mic anywhere, because it was a very vulnerable speech. And shortly after that, I began doing open mics, and I shook. The first time I did an open mic, I knew one poem by Sharon Olds. I was shaking, but they clapped and they loved it. And I decided, well, they like it. That's all the incentive I need. I'll get better. So I just kept practicing, and look at what you do at the CCC. You embrace everyone and clap for them and make them feel really good about the effort they've just made. And it could be someone like me who that's the only prodding they needed. You could be turning someone into something that is much bigger than how they started just by giving them encouragement. And I appreciate that.
And well, you're welcome. And Scott made a comment to folks about 3 weeks ago saying, there are people who wake up on a Friday morning and realize I'm going to get up on stage. And there's a nervousness throughout them the whole day, because they know in their mind during their job, I'm going to be going up. I have 3 songs prepared. I'm going to have my music. And can I do this? And I'm so nervous, and I get there to sign up. And it's the environment of acceptance that eases their mind after their first shot there, after their first try. Yeah. But people all day are thinking about what I'm going to do at 7 o'clock at night, and they've been practicing all week just for open mic to do 3 songs. You travel a distance to spend 12 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
People come from Santa Cruz. People have come from Aromas, from Monterey, Hollister, to do 3 songs and have it, that's their evening, and be freaking out about it, or nervous, maybe not freaking out about it, prior to getting there.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, maybe they're dreaming about it on a Thursday night, who knows? But it's the folks like you who make open mic.
Oh, thank you.
And make the center. And I want to talk a little bit about the other parts.
Okay.
When you look at what's happening, the person who does the mixed media classes is a retired PVUSD adult ed instructor for 20 years.
Okay.
And most of her clientele are seniors, but she does wonderful artwork there. And it's on a Tuesday and Thursday, I think starting at 10 o'clock. And the people who come just love it because of the environment and the gentleness of what's happening within that room itself. So it's also with a farmer's market, where you see Bob, people call him Avocado Bob, the guy on the far left. He has avocados and he's always chatting with people and he's making you feel so welcome.
Yeah.
Why don't you try my tangerine juice, man? It's really good. You know? So it's the whole vibe of what happens in the center. And we're hoping that after COVID calms down and people start getting out in the community again and feeling comfortable, that things will start to get back to what they were.
Well, the farmer's market, does it go on in the wintertime? Isn't it only in the spring and the summer?
No, all year.
Oh.
All year round.
Oh.
And I don't know how they do it yesterday when it's raining. I mean, they're on an overhang.
Oh.
So, because we put a new overhang and a new fence behind the market. So he's out there. I was just talking with Bob about it. He says, yeah, no, we go year round.
Huh.
So,
kind of like expecting to be on stage that night, right? He's expecting to be at the farmer's market.
That's correct.
Yeah, those guys have been nice. I have the email of at least one of them where he lets me know when he's going to be there and what he's bringing. And one woman I had a long conversation with when it was hailing one day. So it had to be in the fall or the winter. So we were under some sort of umbrella thing. And we had a long conversation about the soap that she makes. Yeah, everyone is super nice there. And it's like they all want to be there. That's the cool thing about your open mic too, is like everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to be there. Yeah.
And it's for folks, and I'll say it's for my demographic in their 70s. And maybe they're single, maybe they're widowed, who knows, but I can expect to see certain people there every Friday night. And when they leave on Friday, they go, see you next Friday.
Huh.
Okay. So this is home to them on a Friday night. And that's why I say, I don't care how many people we get, we'll always stay open because it is a home and it is part of the community.
It's community, right? It is community, yeah. And it has a really good heart to it. So thank you for doing that for everybody.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. If there was any air of criticism there, I wouldn't have gone back because I lived with criticism during my entire childhood. And I struggle with perfectionism. So to get up on a mic takes a certain amount of courage. And then to know that you could screw up at any time. My advantage, why I don't sing, Ed, is because I can screw up a poem and you don't know the difference. So I've learned to just keep going. Just keep going and they will still enjoy it. I'll deliver it well no matter what because they don't know the poem and I do. And I've delivered hundreds of poems on that mic. And no matter what, the audience embraces it. And I am still in many ways afraid of making mistakes. And in your environment, that doesn't happen. So thank you.
Good to know. Good to know.
So in what ways would you ask anyone who's watching this video to help the CCC? In what ways does the CCC need help?
Well, we always need donations because this is an older building and it's in constant need of repairs.
Yeah.
We'd love to have an asphalt driveway and parking area, but that's not going to be a reality because of the expense involved. How can people help? 1, come to the open mic. 2, come to Acoustic Open Jam.
Yeah.
Check us out.
Just
don't come in the driveway and turn around and leave because a lot of people use our driveway, our parking area for a turnaround.
Oh.
And so when you're at Corralitos Market, you'll see where we're at. Check us out. So that's one way, just by coming in and embracing. And you can go on the website, and the website's kind of old, and but there's a tab for you to pay, make a donation through PayPal. And I think just coming and being there and using the facilities. And if you have an event that you want, a wedding, a retirement party, we've had them there where people can rent out the hall and they rent out the back building. They have food in the back. They bring their bands or a band or a DJ, and they use the performance hall where we move all the chairs out of the way and they get up on this, people can dance there. So it's a venue that's multi-purpose.
Right. Yeah. I never thought of that. You could rent the main place that has the stage, or you could rent the big back room, either one.
You can rent them in combination if you want. You need to use both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've had retirement parties in the front part. We do sell beer and wine. That's one way that we do make money, and obviously through donations. But yeah, there's a rental program that's online. You can check out the rental rates and all that kind of information. That's kind of out of my league. I don't do that part
Got
of it.
it.
Just,
Yeah, that's not your gig.
yeah, it's not mine. Yeah,
All
not my
right.
thing. Yeah. So
Well, do you see anything special happening in 2022 for the CCC?
yes, I do. I know that there's some performers going to be putting on a garage rock opera.
Oh.
Will be happening.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't mention names, but I think you know who she is. And we hope to get the jazz. We hope to get the jazz folks back.
Hmm.
And just keep expanding on what we're doing. We are working on a thing called the backyard. That in the very, very back, we have a large area, and we put some fencing around it and see if we can have some acoustic open music there in the backyard.
Okay.
And,
Well, it's a
so that
beautiful
backs the
area.
park.
In the summer, it's beautiful to sit outside there. So I could see that would be really nice.
Yeah. So we're hoping we have a stage built at this point. And we'll just taking it day by day. We're all volunteers, so there's no deadline or there's no time. I believe there's going to be an event on one of our local comedians, Mr. Stockton. We're putting on an event on April 23rd to celebrate 420. So
Okay.
that's up and coming.
Okay.
And at this point, that's about it for right now.
All right. So today is Monday. So Friday, is there an open mic?
Start to get nervous. Friday's coming. Yeah. Friday. We'll open mics happen on Friday. Yeah, no, we're going to be open for New Year's. Absolutely.
Okay.
And we were open for Christmas. We had about last Friday. We had about 10 performers.
Wow. All right.
So,
good for
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
we're going to stay open, and it's all good.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for the open-armed help that you give the community by allowing them to have a place where they can express themselves and they know they're not there to get criticized. And everyone will clap. That happens. Everyone claps, and you have a great sound system. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
We
coming.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming here, Ed. I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you probably Friday.
God, I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.